Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Eventually here we are. We're at the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026 up in Thurso. It is blowing onshore. We've had to delay for a while. We've had 3 calls we've missed just because of the wind and the weather, but now it is kicking off. We have got our first heat going off in the water. There's 3 in the water. I'll let you know the update for that, but I just want to say welcome to those that are watching online. I hope you can join us for most of this competition, if not all. We're going to go for the big finals day tomorrow. We're going to try and get through as much as we can today with that wind. And yeah, Thurso East is going to deliver again. We're having about head-high sets come through occasionally, so let's see what those bombs drop off for us. So, looking out for the surfing, look out for us online, like and share, and hope you enjoy the Thurso experience with the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026. We'll speak to you soon. Cheers! So here we are, folks. It is game on. Look at the first set wave coming through. They've all been caught on the inside. Welcome online to all those. We've got in the water, in red, Israel Noble from Brock Surf Club. We've got white Chris Clark from North Shore Surf Club. We've got yellow Finn Clark from East Coast Board Rider Surf Club. And in blue, Craig Sutherland from Sand End Surf Club. It is game on. That is the start of the Open Men for the quarterfinals Heat 1 that we have for the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026 here up at Thurso. Welcome online, everyone. So as usual format, you're going to hear Dan probably speaking on the beach shout-outs, so he's speaking to all the athletes in the water. You've got myself. I can be on the camera when we need to, so I can quickly dart over to this camera when Brian clicks it, and that's probably me live with you right now. And then we can go back to the waves. So yeah, we'll see what we've got kicking off. We've got a solid wind coming through. We've got a storm warning for tomorrow coming in about 3 p.m. So hopefully we're going to get through as much as we can today. We have in red, is that Israel up and riding on his first wave. Trying to get around the section, just getting a bit bobbled around in there, having to just peel out that wave. So, but he's certainly taking the first drop. And that'll just be coming through as a pretty quick scoreline, I'd imagine, for the judges. We've got a fair setup going on up here this year. We've got a judges trailer off to my right-hand side as you look out to the sea from the cameras. We've got another judges trailer off to my left-hand side with a microphone set up in between, overlooking this beautiful Caithness slab that kicks off this real-like set of waves at Thurso East. That's why it delivers. It's so nice to see how these waves unload down the line. If you've not surfed Thurso, man, it's formidable. You've got to be careful. You've got to have your wits about you because they are landing in about knee depth to thigh depth water for some of these waves today. They're big tides, so it's going to come in fast. It's going to drop out fast. When it drops out fast, it will be going down to ankle depth for some of those endpoint sections. So Thurso East, normally a right-hander, is Israel having another look in the inside in red. He's going to get himself to his feet. Can he get some speed and gather momentum? He's trying to get a bottom turn in here. He's just going to kick out and get onto the shoulder. Maybe he's just trying to line himself up and get back into play. We've got in blue Craig Sutherland, Suds. Oh, taking a head dive there just in that first takeoff, but certainly trying to get involved with the action. So it's game on. We got Hugh about to walk in, so we have a quick word with our contest director. Hugh, what are we saying?
Well, a little bit lumpy at the moment. We think it's going to clean up a bit. We think the wind's going to drop a little with the tide. More than contestable. All the guys seem really happy to go out there. So let's see how we go.
That's what we're talking about. Our contest director, you drove all the way up from Wales, over 12 hours of driving over the last couple of days. But he's here, we've delivered, it started, we're game on. Let's see what happens. So what we got there, Israel in red with a 1.27, waiting on a yellow score from Finn Clark. I just had to quickly run through and check out the clubhouse, North Shore Surf Club. If you're wanting to get warm and come and watch some surfing, they've got the live screen going on inside the North Shore Surf Club with the massive windows looking out to the sea. So you can actually get the best of both worlds. You can watch it live from the window and then turn around. It's almost like a slight delay, so you get a replay. We have Finn just taking off on that wave. Nice big roundhouse cut back into the white water. Trying to get a bit of speed out of that. He's going to have to kick out over the shoulder to make sure he can paddle back out. There he goes. A little kick out the end. So yeah, beautiful setup going on up here this weekend. This is fully spot on. So I hope you're all online and enjoying the Easter weekend. So Easter Friday, and we're all enjoying the surf we've got going on. We've got two cameramen down on the shoreline. We've got Mal obviously down there. Could be Paul actually as a secondary camera. It might even be Chris. So there's a good setup going up at Thursday East. It's just on point and delivering again. So how are we scoring then? What are the judges looking for? They're looking for clean execution of radical maneuvers, speed, power and flow. So the more speed they can get in the wave, they're going to get a bigger hit off the wave. Judges are ideally looking for spray off the top of the wave from an exceptional maneuver. So the more vertical you can put the board up the wave face, hit off the top, turn down, come back down the wave, get a big bottom turn again. So the bottom turn's also been judged. If you see spray coming off the fins at the bottom turn, it means there's a lot of power being put down, and they're getting a big drive off the bottom to get more speed to go up the face of the wave and deliver a big hit. So that's what the judges are looking for. There is a whole raft of judges that are in there at the moment, and they're going through strict procedure. So we are just waiting for a score for yellow there. It's been announced by Dan. But the other thing we're looking for at Thursday East normally delivers cracking barrels. So because that's why it breaks off the Caithness slab, it delivers that sort of barrel. So we're looking for more of those if we can. Hopefully tomorrow, with the way the weather switches, the winds might switch slightly to help that. So we'll just see what tomorrow can deliver.
Next heat, it is a 10-minute paddle out. So you are paddling out.
You're not going to believe I've just bagged a seat inside my communications trailer with Brian. Brian's on the cameras for us in the background. Big shout out from Brian in the background. Say hello.
Hello.
There he is. We have Finn Clark up and riding, gathering some speed, just trying to stay high line. Now he's taking that first hit off the face of that wave, and a second one just as it's trying to close out in front of him. He's managed to get a turn in there. Can he get a third to finish off? He's looking to generate speed with a bit of pump. Oh, he just dragged a rail at the end there, which stopped him executing that last turn. But certainly two solid turns there from Finn. We're waiting, I think, probably for 3 scores now for Finn, who's set 3 waves in motion for him. So I think that third wave he's just got there will probably be the higher scoring one out of the other 2, I think, but that's me just guessing. So first wave for Finn was a 3.67 and a second wave score of a 2.50. So how is everyone out there on this holiday weekend, I suppose? Let us know, give us a shout out. Send some love from wherever you are. Big shout out, I always do it each year and I have to do it again. William Watson, I hope you're well out in Australia and I hope you're watching on and looking on to this. It's delivered again, Watson. It's on it again for the Scottish Surfing Championships. So we should get some good scores coming through and some good action in the water, but I hope everything's well out in Australia. Also, There's a whole crew of young ladies out there partying in Australia. So a big shout out to the Thurso crew that are partying. Who have we got out there? We've got Olivia, we've got Bea, we've got Annie's out there as well. That's right. So a big shout out to you. I think probably at this time you may be in a bar. I'm not quite sure what the time. Yeah, you probably are. So if you are watching, big hello from Scotland. I hope you're all having fun. And a shout out to the rest of you around the world as well that's watching from wherever you are. So, yep. Enjoy what we're delivering, hopefully. And hopefully these live streams you're picking up and you're passing on to your mates to like and share. And then you can send some love via Facebook. But I'm pretty emotional, so don't give me any grief. That's all good. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. And actually just hearing a shout there about Bea, you're not in Australia, and I'm just going to give a shout out and a big hug to you. I hope you're recovering well, eh? I've just heard some news there, so I hope you're all fine and you're getting some eyes on this contest, so I hope you're okay. Rightio, let's get back to some action. Let's see what's going on with some scores. If we get anything coming through for that last wave from Finn, it's still spinning. Let's see what we can get for that. The sun is out, but it is chilly, that direct wind coming into the trailer at the moment. So it's chilly, but it's still on. We have got the contest running, the Scottish Surfing Championships for 2026 at Thurso. Supposed to kick off at 8:30 this morning. We've managed to get in the water at 12:30, so it's been a bit of a delay and a wait. But now it is on. And what we're going to try and do throughout, every time a heat is won, we're going to get the winner up for a very quick interview. Up at the trailer just to ask them a few questions and see how we go. So there's Finn's last score coming through at a 5.50. It's putting him into first position, with red Israel Noble in second position. So a good wave score there for Finn with a 5.50 and backed off with a 3.67. Certainly in the conditions we've got going on today, that is good scores to put in the bag as this opener for the Scottish Surfing Champs. So well done there, Finn, laying it down. It's almost like the youngsters against the oldsters out there. Come on, Suds and Clarkey. You got to get something sorted out. Here goes Finn again. What this boy is working. Can he make it around the section? He's going to have to kick out over the shoulder in that one, which he has done so. But it's being super active, we can see. So the surfer's got a 10-minute paddle out for the next heat that's going in the water. So just because the conditions the way they are, they're getting a slightly longer paddle out. There are slightly longer heats of 25 minutes. So it just means we can have a bigger paddle out for those surfers. Not that they'll need it, actually. It's pretty quick to get out there. You're paddling straight off a shallow reef, out into the lineup, and you're game on for a surf. So, but you will see in the water, probably at some point, you'll have double vision of 2 reds, 2 whites, 2 blues, 2 yellows. That is just the next heat getting ready. If any of them take a wave, they can actually be fully done for it. So it can have a big impact on their scores throughout the competition. It might even get them disqualified. So those second surfers that are getting in the water have to stay out the way of the lineup, so the takeoff area, if you like. They've got to keep themselves off to the side and just hold position. But yeah, it just means they've got time enough and we can just flow the competition. It means it just keeps on going and going, so we don't really get much of a delay. There'll be a delay. It will always start with a single horn, then it's 25 minutes. You will get a double horn that will end the heat, so a double horn will end the heat. So a single horn will start and a double horn will end. If you take off before that first sound of the double horn at the end, your wave will be scored. If you take off after the first sound of that double horn at the end, you will not be scored in that wave. So yeah, you've got to take off just before that horn sounds. So if you're riding a wave, the horn sound, everyone thinks, oh, they won't get scored in that. No, they will, because they were up and riding before the double horn went off. If you do see some hand signals out there in the water, The ones we're looking at, 2 arms out to the side, that's the surfer asking for scores. You got 1 arm out to the side, that's a wave count. It's not really asked much of. You're looking, and then you've got a hand or a wrist tap above your head, that's looking for how much time is left. And then a double arm up in the air, that is priority. So, I mean, they're really after their scores and they're after time. And we've got Israel Noble having a paddle in that white water, just getting ruffled about there, not coming out of it, unfortunately. So tricky conditions out there from the surfers, because these surfers are all at such an exceptional level, so it must be tough conditions if they're struggling to get into some of these waves. So other things to think about then, there is something called priority going on. So priority out there, say at the moment we've got yellow in first priority, red in second priority, and obviously blue in third and white in fourth. This means that yellow can take off on any wave they choose. So say if someone else, say red takes off on a wave but yellow quite fancies it as well, yellow can take off on that wave and red has to get off because yellow has got first priority. Okay? So if yellow chooses not to take a wave and if yellow chooses not to take a wave and red thinks I can get that and takes a wave underneath a yellow, that's absolutely acceptable. But if red's riding a wave and yellow wants to get that wave, they just have to stand up and take it because they have got first priority. So bit of a battle when it comes down to the last couple of minutes with priorities. Everyone's going to ask about who's got priority, especially when the scores are tight. You'll see it further on into the bigger rounds, the business end. You'll probably see more priority use getting done. But it certainly will be called out if anything is interfered in priority. The judges will take note. They'll put an asterisk against. They'll take a note. It's a mark that gets put down on the judge's sheet, and that then identifies there's a discussion to be had or it's already been made aware of and everyone's in agreement. We have Israel having a look there up and riding, getting hit by a bobble. Out the back we have Clarkey having a paddle. Clarkey's to his feet, taking a drop over the falls onto the head, so not quite getting in the groove with Clarkey or Suds at the moment. Biding their time, they've got enough time to do that. They're sitting at 7 minutes 20 remaining. There is Finn having a look, just caught right inside that section, choosing to dive out. There's no point to carry on through that. He's not going to make past the section, so just having a bail. So there's waves to be had. Suds just trying to reposition himself. Can he get into this face? It's just setting up. Looks like he's got the right position. Getting a white wall push. Not coming out the bobble. It's a pretty active amount of white water going on out there, so it must have a little bit of punch and power to take Suds off his board. Suds not long back from a trip out to window. So he'll be noticing a difference from going from a pair of board shorts into probably a 6mm wetsuit I'd imagine he's got on out there with a hood, having been in Bali, so a bit of a change for him. And Suds again, just manoeuvring position, getting him in the inside, coming off the falls. Clarkey's just on the outside there. He's just kicked out and bailed out of that one as well. But Clarkey was sitting, so there was a point there that Suds probably had to bail out that wave because Clarkey was looking to go for it, so Clarkey was sitting in priority. Even if it was third priority, he's ahead of fourth priority, so he could have stolen that wave off Suds. A lot to think about. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of the judges are going to think about this all the time as well. So they've not only got to score the waves, they're also going to see if there's any interference going on. The head judge is overseeing that. We also have a priority judge spotting that as well. So it's a pretty active judges trailer next to me, and we've got a pretty active marshals trailer next to us. There's a water safety crewman in there relaying to the lifeguards who are sitting at the moment on reef. and they're just ready to go, poised, ready in the call of any radio contact they have. So, all taken care of up here at Thurso East. So we're coming up for 4 minutes remaining in this Open Men quarter-final, Heat 1, for the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026 up here in Thurso East. With Finn Clark in yellow leading the way with a 9.17 heat total. Israel Noble in second with a heat total of 1.34. And Clarkey and Suds just needing small scores to get them up there into contention to go through. So here's Finn Clark up and riding again, gathering some speed to get round the section. There goes a foamy wall ride, not coming out of it the other side. But good to see a bit of different manoeuvres going on. We've got in blue, I'm just thinking if that Suds all the way on the inside. He's got a paddle to get out there. He's got 3.5 minutes to get the engines working. He's got 1.14 to get him through into the next round. And I know Suds is sitting in the Masters division as well, I'm pretty sure. So this is the Open at the moment, and there is Masters going on too. So that's Finn Clark just having a look there. Typically I had my lunch handed to me there, just as that was happening, that wave. So all this is also possible as well with sponsors. So we've got, looking after us to get us up and running. We've got Mystic, we've got Vision Events, we've got C-Mosta, we've got Christian Surfers for Scotland. We're at the Pentland Hotel where we've all been staying and always get the best fry-ups in the morning, eh? North Shore Surf Club, that clubhouse they've got set up for us up here is one of the best. The Highland Council, NRS Dounreay and Amentum plus Lost Shore. So a lot of major sponsors in there, and Clackmahar Saunas as well on site. The sauna is on site. You never know, you might get a sneaky wee roundup with Oscar and myself from the sauna at some point. We'll see how that one goes. So, but yes, all these places, it makes this competition happen. So any sponsorship like that is absolutely welcomed, received, and it's really important for these events happening. So, superb. It's also, if you've not been at Lost Shore, that's one of the sponsors we've got there. You got to get down to Lost Shore and go and have a play in that wave. They've got so many different settings. You've got a cracking cafe to sit down afterwards. It's completely open fronted. You can see the wave that is going on. It's just one of the best setups. So yeah, good variation for us, good training platform, and it's just brilliant to have up here in Scotland. What a facility. It means you can start delivering more airs, which was what we're seeing coming through from the next generation. Finn Clark up and riding again. Stealing the old priority there and using it wisely. Now he's gathering speed. Whoa, just having a little bobble there, but gets a nice hit, rides out under the lip from that top turn. So he'll be happy with that one. That's maybe his best score. We'll see what the judges say from that one. But he's been super active out there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's his 8th wave that he's surfed. There is a cap on how many waves you can do, and that is 15. Once you've got 15 waves, thereafter you can't take any more. If you do take a wave, and I'm pretty sure there is a rule, if you do take your 16th wave and someone else had the opportunity to take it, it could have an impact on your score. So yeah, it's waiting for that last score for yellow.
Blue and white, you still need 1.14.
So we're just seeing Suds has got out the water down our bottom left. I think, yeah, he has. I hope he's all right there.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Just waiting for that last score of Finn
4,
Clark.
3, 2, 1.
And that is the end of that heat. Looking like Finn Clark has gone through there with Israel Noble in second position. Just waiting for one score to refresh there. We'll get a chat with Finn when he comes up.
Last score on yellow, judges are discussing it. Next heat, please stand by.
So next heat will be in the water as soon as we can get going. Waiting for the judges just to confirm this one up. Once the judges confirm this one up, then we move straight on to the next heat. It's just going to make sure we're all ready to go. So I'd like to know what's... there'll be a discussion on that last wave because that under the lip turn was pretty critical right towards the end of the wave. Had a bobble just before that in the white water section, but that nice finishing turn under the lip to ride out and landed basically. So there's a tiny bit of a drop coming into that. So Finn will have been happy with that last wave that he took there. So nice sets rolling through in the background. So that is sitting about head high out there at the moment. So next in the water right now, in red we've got Mark Boyd, North Shore Surf Club. In white, Charlie Pugh, Belhaven Surf Club. In yellow, Nick Skinner, no club mentioned there. And in blue, Cal Burns, Belhaven Surf Club. So we've got Mark Boyd out there, hoping Mark can deliver. Might be having a wee battle with a niggle, but we'll just not talk about that. Let's see how this body holds up on this. So we're still just waiting for that. So 5.07 was Finn's last wave score. So there we have Finn going through with a solid score. And we now have the next heat is up and running. We'll get a quick interview when Finn comes up as well. So it'd be good to always speak to these competitors when they get out. Just let's hear what they're saying about it out there and how the conditions are and what they're playing with, what the battles are, and what their tactic was, I suppose. Maybe not to give the secret away for their competition. We might not ask that question. Would that be bad to ask that question, Brian, about tactics?
No, go for it.
Oh, you reckon go for it? Okay, we could be on. We might be asking a question about tactics. We'll see. Here we are, everyone. Scottish Surfing Championships up in Thursday for 2026. We've got the first winner of his first heat. That is Finn Clark. Right then, Finn, what is it like out there?
Oh, the conditions are proper tricky. That wind's just going right across the face, but there is a couple okay ones on the inside if you can find them, but it is hard work.
So your wave count out there, do you know how many waves you got? I think you're sitting on 8 or 9. I think it was 8, but you got 3 solid scoring ones. So 2 scores was a 5.51 and a 5.05 was your last wave score. Do you remember your last wave, the critical maneuver you got after the section? Did you have a wee bobble on the rail before that?
Yeah. I just stood up because I didn't want any of the other boys to get it, and then like I was kind of bobbly, but then once I actually finally got to my feet, I just seen that section, I was like, I put it up and then managed to stick the turn, so pretty stoked on that.
So you're already working for tactics of priority out there, so is that happening?
Yeah, totally, especially in waves like this, you just want to be on the best ones and hope the other boys don't find anything.
Grand, well here, we'll let you go and get warm. Good luck with the rest of the contest, we'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye to you guys. So that was Charlie's having a first look at a wave there, and Boydie's having a quick scratch on the inside there. Nothing of it. Nice interview with Finn there. Interesting tactics with weather conditions like this. He's absolutely bang on right. He wants to get the best wave, so why not utilise his priority or get himself positioned where he knows he can either sit in deep and take the big solid wave, or he gets himself out in the shoulder and takes the faster running wave. As in the bigger wave that's close out on the inside, it'll be a faster running one down the line to get some sort of turn out of it. So a good set of waves for Finn there with the surfing to get him through past the first round. He'd be pleased with that. Interesting though, it must be tough conditions out there. You get 2 top end surfers in Suds and Clarkey out there and not bagging waves each of them in 25 minutes. It says a lot of what's coming through in the water, and you've got to be super picky. You've got to utilise your priority, position up for it, get a bit of patience in there maybe, but very tricky conditions. We have a big solid set wave coming through now though. How are we positioned? It's going to be a nice swinging wave if someone is in the right place. We have in yellow Nick Skinner having a look, just coming out of that, didn't go for it. All 4 leaving that wave to run through. Be a solid takeoff section, but then just fizzling out along the line. You'd have to work hard in the inside section there. We have got in blue trying to get to their feet, has got the drop, but going nowhere with that one, Cal. Certainly getting to his feet, taking the first wave, which will be just getting out the system for your first wave here at Thurso East. And it is tricky conditions. In white having a look, that's Charlie Pugh getting to his feet, now trying to get down the line. Can he beat the section? Has to go for a foamy white wall ride, getting a smack off the lip, unfortunately coming unstuck. But certainly trying to get some sort of big critical manoeuvre, just because it's such a fast wave, couldn't do much further down the line, so really had to attack it. So that's Boydie getting himself to his feet. He's got a nice little snap off the back of that turn, a little bit of spray delivered. This is actually good to see Boydie up to his feet, and we may catch up with Boydie at some point through this whole contest. Be good to have a chat with him. So a nice first wave there taken by Boydie, well, second wave, but the first one was really a scratching in and out. So that one there has delivered 3 turns on it, and we have Nick Skinner just having a look out the back there and choosing not to go for that wave. But a well chosen wave there from Boydie. Oh, and that's Nick Skinner finding that wave he was after, but just coming out early from it. Took 2 turns on the start of that wave. But yeah, so Boydie's last wave score of 3.33. So that'll put him into first place with a combined of 4.33. And Nick's taken a 1.67, bumping him up into second there, just ahead of Charlie, who's looking at a wave in the background at the moment, gets himself to his feet, trying to get along that train line. It's just closing out slightly, not quite getting the wave he wanted or getting the action from it he needed. But being active, hungry to get some waves, there's no doubt about it. And we got Blue just drifting a little bit there, Cal. You're going out of that takeoff zone. So he's maybe finding himself caught just in the wrong spot there, Cal. He's shifting off to the right of the peak at the moment. So there has been the occasional left-hander coming through. Certainly was yesterday, but not so much today with the way that wind is pushing the wave across the face. So I hope everyone's well. Be interested to know where you're watching from. There's Boyd who's having a look on the inside, just not going for it, deciding it wasn't worth it. Just wondering where you are in the world watching this. I've given a shout out to Watson in Australia, the travelling ladies out in Australia as well. They should be surfing this contest. Where are you? But no, I understand you're out there enjoying the sunshine in Australia at the moment. It certainly will be sunny at the moment for that time of year. So a good crew up here in Thurso. Certainly been looked after by everyone in Thurso itself. It's just so nice to be back. Yeah, we got a bit of wind, but there's waves. It's contestable. That's what we're after. As Nick getting himself to his feet, just getting caught up in that white water all the way through that section, fortunately not making anything of it. Where's our surfer in blue? Where's Cal? Trying to see where he is at the moment. Eyes on. He's just off to the right of us at the moment. So just maybe wants to get himself positioned a little bit further into this pocket, just so we can catch one of these waves. So a solid wave being surfed there, just having to do a secondary duty there. Our beach marshal is gone, so I had to get the scores and everything out to the surfers. But a solid wave surf by Boydie there. He'll be happy with that. Some good solid turns. He got a nice, I think 3 turns through on that, but 2 good whippy backhand turns. That certainly will see a better scoreline come through from there from a 3.33.
Stay very clear of the current heat. Also, no need to run. Mark, don't fall over now, whatever you do.
So that's Nick just getting caught again with that white water. It's all about positioning here at Thurso. Just the way the weather is, it's not a clear wave coming through for understanding where it's going to break and how it's going to peel down the line. So you've got to be super selective. But certainly waiting for a last score for Mark Boyd on that last wavy road. A nice score there for Mark Boyd of a 4.67.
Situation in the water with 8 minutes.
So he'll be happy with that. Let's put him with a heat total of 8.0.
Position. Red, first position. 2 scoring waves of 4.67.
So we've got
3.3.
Cal sitting in priority 1
2 scoring
and
waves.
Boydie sitting in priority 2.
6.7 and 3.33. You are the heat leader. Yellow, you are in second. You are looking to replace.
So yeah, some pretty hard conditions with an onshore wind like that. You've got a beach marshal shouting out. We try and have directional speakers, and they're blowing probably the opposite way now, and everyone behind us is hearing everything. But it must be hard for the surfers. So what they really should be doing, there should be a caddy on the beach that's giving them some sort of coaching or some sort of direction of where they're sitting from a score point of view. From a timing point of view, we have got a disc that gives them a 5-minute warning of how long they've got left, as in there's 5 minutes left in the heat. There will be a certain colour of disc goes up that's very visible for them to see, to know they've got 5 minutes left to try and make a difference. But also good practice from a surfing point of view is have a watch on out there, and you can then time it yourself and know exactly what's going on. So just good practice, because it does all come down to those buzzer beaters when we get to the business end of it. It can make a big difference. It makes a big difference in these heats as well. There's no repechage because we've got such a long heat going on. So yeah, it's a case of make sure you get your waves, calculated time to which one you're going to go for. So we have in blue Cal Burns just having a look at the moment, not going for that wave, not quite getting into the right position. It's peeling down the line. No, it's quite a nice running wave. But yeah, Boydie will be sitting happy there with an 8.0 in heat total. So a good 4.67 scored there. And we have Nick just peeling out the top of that wave. I thought he was going to go into that one there for a second.
blue, you need 1.8.
George and Gabe out there, I'm seeing that, watching from Sumatra. Nice to hear. The family cheering on Israel is surfing here at Thurso East for the Scottish Surfing Championships. Big hello to you guys. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you're watching live. So we can see those live feeds, everyone. That just doesn't mean you give me any grief. That would be unfair and not necessary. But yeah, in Sumatra, that'd be nice. That'll be warmer than here. There's no doubt about that. I'm paddling Charlie Pugh up, and I just caught a nose there and just give him a wee somersault over the front of that wave, unfortunately for Charlie. He's got to get a score there. He's needed to get out of third position. He'll be grumpy if he don't. It's nice to see the local crew in Aberdeen watching. Yes, you are listening to my commentary, unfortunately, Jamie. I hope you're enjoying it. None of this abuse I'm getting in text over my phone. We have up and riding Nick Skinner in yellow, just bogging a rail at the top of that turn. I guarantee there's waves probably in Aberdeen right now because I'm not there. That's how it works. 3 minutes remaining of this Heat 2 of the Open Men quarterfinals for the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026. So Boydie is in first position here with Nick Skinner in second. Charlie Pugh in third, looking to get better that score. He's needing to push himself through. Charlie is absolutely desperate to get through this next round. There's no doubt about it. I'm pretty sure they all are. But he was absolutely frothing before he got in. He was really hungry for this contest this year. The apologies are coming in from the Aberdeen crew. Yes, that abuse cannot be tolerated on my phone. But thanks for the apology. I hope you're all well. Hope you're all watching and enjoying it. And I hope it's not too bitterly cold down in Aberdeen. You're getting some sort of wave. And I hope you're listening in from around the world. Nice to hear Gabe and George out there in Sumatra. That was a nice bit of feedback to come through. Who else have we got online? Keep up the great work from Phil, like it. William Wallace is going to get on a board. So we can see all these live feeds coming in from everyone around wherever they are. Under 90 seconds remaining. So Boydie looking like he's going through in first at the moment, with Nick Skinner in second. Charlie desperately wanting a wave here. Is he in position to get a wave? He doesn't have priority at the moment. He's sitting in fourth priority as Charlie. So a 4.67 scored by Mark. We'll hopefully get a catch up with, well, we will get a catch up with Mark if he wins this heat. Be interesting, a couple of questions to ask him.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute. Red, you are in first position.
So he's just asking for some live scores there with 50 seconds remaining for Mark. We haven't been white. That is Charlie. Now he's got to do something with this. He's looking to generate some speed with a bit of pumping action on the board. Can he get something from it? It's not going to get anything out that one. Boydie's getting up in the background in red. Just bogged a rail there. So we'll see how that one reacts. Let's see what happens here. So Charlie was looking for a 1.7 there. Let's see if he can get that delivered. That's going to be a hard one for the judges to make a call on. There was almost 3 wiggles on it, but not so much big turns. There's a lot of white water interfering with Charlie trying to generate some speed there. So we'll just see what the judges make of that.
9, 8, 7.
So coming up to the end of that Heat 2 for the quarter final for the Men's Open. So that could technically be a buzzer beater. We're going to see what the judges say for that. For Charlie sitting in third position, if he scrapes through this one, he'll be a lucky lad and he'll be kicking himself because he's challenging some big waves. Charlie's got it. I mean, you see some of the waves he's surfing nowadays and what he's delivering. So this is a pretty hard platform. This is what it makes a difference. Never drive away from a wave. You never know what you're going to go out in competition. So it's worth always trying to test yourself in some of the worst slop you can do, because the competition can run in a foot high. So it doesn't take much for a contest to run. So it's worth testing yourself out on some of these waves. I mean, there's a yellow's just gone over the falls there. So Nick trying to get himself back in. The same with Cal, need to clear the area. So the Severn board boy, we're trying to deliver that good coverage for you. We hope you are enjoying. Severn board boy, the Severn Dounreay. I wonder if anyone's online that has surfed that. Obviously this chap has a Severn board that just goes on up a river. One day I will. So yeah, good to see a variety of places you're watching live from. It is on. There is solid wind. You can see by the white horses and the spray blowing off the other break over there, which we dare not mention too much of in line because it's a bit of a controversial name.
Moving through to the semi-final is red Mark Boyd.
So there was a buzzer beater there for Charlie Pugh. He's a lucky lad. He managed to get it there at the last second with a 1.90. He was only needing a 1.7. He takes the 1.90 on really tricky conditions. So he has got another attempt to get himself through to the next round. So he's got himself through the semis, so he'll be happy with that. But certainly that was a lucky last wave that Charlie pulled out there. So he'll be pleased he's got himself through. I'm not going to be convinced he'll be pleased with his performance. But won't get a chance to catch up with Charlie. We'll certainly get a chance to catch up with Mark. So when Boydie gets up here, it'd be good to ask him a few questions. So it's waiting for the next heat to get started. That'll be heat number 3 for the Open Men quarterfinals. And we've just had heat 2 go through, and Mark Boyd in first position, Charlie Pugh in second position. They will progress on to the semi-final. There's no repechage. We've got 25-minute heats going on. Therefore, the longer the heats, we don't need repechage because it should be time enough for you to get some good waves in there. It is tricky conditions, right enough, with that onshore, what we've got here at Thurso East. The next peak over the other break, you can see it slightly blowing offshore as the wind comes through. It's cross offshore at the other peak, but certainly on Thurso East it's not so much. We have got some blue sky, but wow, it's cold. It's a raw wind coming through. So that's our Heat 3 in the water at the moment, with Craig McLaughlin in red, with Mark Yoden in white, and Ansel Parkin in yellow. That's who we've got in the water now. So Craig absolutely delivering in red there on his first wave. 2 solid big turns. We're just getting ready for a live interview with Mark. I'll just keep an eye on what's going on out here. But Craig certainly his opening wave. We'll see what the score was for that. And we have up and riding. Who is that in yellow? That was Ansel Parkin. Just coming unstuck on his backhand there. Out the back, we got Craig McLaughlin just going through that wave, and Mark Yoden duck diving through that wave as well. We'll see what this next one comes through in the background like. So another set wave coming through is Craig in the right position. Just choosing not to go in it. The same with Mark as well. Just might let that one run. There could be one more facing that one afterwards as well. But while we've got Mark here, we're going to have a quick chat with Mark. Let's just wait a second and see how wide this is going to be. Now we're going to go for a chat with Mark whenever our cameraman's ready. That's you. Well, Mark, how's it going?
About yourself?
Good, good. It's sunny at last up in Thurso. So what were the conditions like then for you out there?
Oh, it's better than I was expecting. It's kind of pretty tricky with the bump, but there's the odd one that smoothens out, doubles up maybe, so there's a few waves out there, but it's pretty hard paddling, and there's not time for loads of waves even with 25 minutes, just got to be pretty picky.
That's it, picky's definitely the point there. And also, are you using priority with that in mind?
Aye, priority kind of. There wasn't like there was loads of good waves, so you had to choose them pretty well. So if you fell off and lost your priority, it definitely was detrimental. But so I just tried to pick the right waves, and I'm nursing a bit of a sore knee, so I was just took a couple of waves just to see how it felt, and did enough. So
I was going to ask you on that one, how is the knee? But it seems like you're delivering. You've got your backhand going on there. You're throwing some spray up, so judges are seeing that. How do you feel with it?
I was pleasantly surprised. I was a bit worried about my first pop up. I was a bit scared to put weight on it, and then I got a bit of confidence after I took one wave, and then a wee bit more the next one, and then see how we go tomorrow.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. Good luck, and hope it heals well. I mean, just get some ice in it, relax up, and get ready for your next heat. Thanks, Mark. Cheers. Bye to you guys live. So what did we get there for Craig? Was a 6.50 for his first opening wave. We've had 2 scratch waves in behind that from white and yellow. So Craig's put himself in a nice position. Now's the time he can just choose that second wave wisely. He's going to work with those conditions. Needs to get a backup score, then it's an easy one for him to sit and wait in priority. Certainly sounding there from Mark, past champion up here at the Scottish Surfing Championships, that using your priority wisely and choosing that wave wisely is how it's going to be the most effective, certainly in these conditions we've got going on with that onshore wind. Solid waves coming through, some probably coming in about head and a half, but certainly good overhead waves coming in, head high waves. So we have Craig having a paddle here, angling that board to try and get some speed, which he's done. Got the speed, tagged the top there with a nice whippy first turn. Second one not so whippy, bobbling out the back of that wave. So 2 solid front side turns for Craig there. That'll just solidify a score line for him, give him a combination that he'll be happy with. Might put him up into a double figure combination score with that. We'll see what the judges make of that. So was it higher than a 3.50? We'll find out in a second. 2 solid turns, not the biggest turns from Craig, but certainly enough to do on that bobbling face of that wave. So whenever this wind comes in from that direction, it shears the face of that wave at Thurso-East. And you can see almost like ripple lines across the face of that wave. So it's certainly not a clean wave to be had out there. And we have Mark up and riding for his first wave. It was a little soul arch there to finish off that wave, but maybe not getting around that section. Got to his feet, back down off his feet. So, hard conditions. I remember last year Mark had a session on his own out there in one of the heats. So Mark Yoden, not just a surfer in this contest, but also a sponsor. So if you've not checked out C-Mosta hangers, and they've also got a new change bag as well. Let's have a chat though about Craig. Craig's third wave now, looking to get active. Now he's got some speed. Look at the speed going along the face of this. Going for an air, just landing 2 nose heavy. Hopefully that board's going to come out in one piece. It has indeed. But he's throwing an air there, so that wind, Craig's got a bit of local knowledge here. So maybe getting that wind to stay under that board, hold it up in the air so he can keep his feet planted and not slide off. But certainly airs are being had here. We've seen our first attempt going on. Did one earlier, did one yesterday. So, good to see the attempts being done live for us today. Just waiting for a couple of scores there for Craig. We've got in yellow having a look. That's Ansel Parkin, gets himself to his feet. You can see the bobble in the face of the wave, just catching rail there. So it's just not the easiest surfing conditions. We have Mark now positioning himself up, just not going for that one. So Mark is sitting in first priority. It's just adjusted him by that small paddle. It's put Craig back in at first priority. So that small paddle can change the difference from first priority to second priority, or just taking your first priority away. So certainly it sounds like going to be important with your tactics here. Got to choose the good waves. Don't give up your priority too easily. So it looks like the judges, that was what, maybe 2 paddles, potentially 3, and that priority was handed over. So priority judge being strong in this case. So let that be noted for the rest of those surfers. So we have 2 scores coming for Craig. His second last wave was a 4.50 and his last wave was a 2.0. That's the one he attempted the air on. Didn't quite land it, landed nose heavy. But certainly the wave before that has given him a good solid score. So it's just definitely double figured him up, but it was more than a 3.5. It's certainly a 4.5, so he'll be happy with that. And Craig again positioning himself in a nice spot. He's got the takeoff high on that line. Holds the rail, gets past the section, gets a nice turn in the white pocket, but not quite seeing it through and coming unstuck there. But super active. Mark in behind him. Mark now trying to get himself just as a closeout section in front of him. It's going to be a tricky one, and he does come unstuck off the board. But further down the line, we have Ansel catching that outside shoulder section, but it's just swallowing him up in the white water as it breaks on down the line here at Thurso East. So welcome online, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Here we are at Thurso East for the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026. Tough, tricky conditions. There is an acceptable wave coming through, certainly coming in on average head high, and we've had about a head and a half come through occasionally. No barrels to be had today, just because the way that wind is crossing or shearing the face of the wave. So yeah, hard conditions with that wind. So we were supposed to kick off at 8:30 this morning, and conditions got the better of us, but now we are seeing some light. We're getting through it. We started at 12:30. We're on to our Open Men Heat 3 for the quarterfinals. And we'll see who we're getting in straight in the water after this. So it'll obviously be Heat 4, but are we then going on to what category next? We don't know. I'll get informed as we go through. And it's Craig up and riding again. Look at the speed he's generated. Gets into that pocket. A real nice whippy turn. Release the fins at the back there. You can see the back end slide of the boards. He's just seeing the section all the way through into the inside. Again, another whippy turn on the inside. So 2 good turns there from Craig. Nice speed generated down the line. But a wee tail slide on that first turn that he executed. Just up in the face of the wave. So that'll bring out another good score in for Craig, I'd imagine. I don't think it'll be the best wave score for him in this heat, but we'll let the judges decide that. As soon as I took a bite of that chicken sandwich, I knew a surfer would be up and riding. And it's true. So we had Mark took a big drop there, got one little turn into it, but didn't get much out of it, and that's us just had Ansel having a go in yellow. So, technical notes, don't eat a sandwich just when a set wave's coming through. It wasn't really a set wave, it came out of nowhere, but anyway. Waiting on that last score for Craig. Just waiting on some scores there for those last 3 waves for each individual. So Craig had a tail slide, certainly released some fins on that last wave he took. So we'll just see what the judges make of that. But certainly some scores to be had. He's up in double figures already, Craig. So he's delivering for the judges. They're strict judges as well. There's no doubt about that. That was a nice score there actually for Craig. It was his best score with that tail slide, 6.83. And we are just still waiting the scores for white and yellow. But yeah, that was the top score. So the judges obviously liked that tail slide that Craig delivered in the last wave. So that's good to see. There was 2 waves, 2 turns. His first turn was certainly a lovely tail slide. And then, so the fin release was in. And then he finished off just another turn just in the shoulder of the last part of the wave. So well ridden by Craig. He's given himself a good heat total of a 13.33. So if anyone's any doubt that there was waves to be had, that's proved it. There definitely is waves to be had.
You are in 3rd position. You require 2.
So we got to do a big shout out as well to Kirsty Muir, double globe winner for her freestyle skiing. What is she like? 2 4th place in the Olympics, 4th in the world. So Kirsty Muir, big hello from us here in Scottish Surfing, and well done for your double globe win the other day. I think you had an interview in Aberdeen, so good on you, lass. And that's Mark getting a solid turn off the face there. He'll be happier with that. It's going to give him a better score. Just getting swallowed up, though, in that white water. But Mark will certainly, he's delivered a good turn there. That might be it will be his best wave score for this heat so far. So it might bump him into 2nd position. We'll see what happens there. He's looking for a 2.40.
6 minutes to go. Awaiting.
And it does bump him up with a 3.23 scored there from Mark. So it's put him into 2nd position. So Yellow's now coming into the 5-minute warning time. And Yellow's only needing a 1.71. But no, nicely taken wave there by Mark. Your C-Mosta man. So if you've not got one of those C-Mosta wetsuit hangers, you need to go and get one. They're superb. Good solid material, hang and dry very well, hold from the hips so you drip dry both sides. Yep, pretty good C-Mosta hangers out there. He's now got a change bag as well. He's done pretty well, eh? And sponsors the Scottish Surfing event. So well done, Mark. So this is the raw Scottish conditions we have. We've got a river mouth pouring out down to the left-hand side. That might have some snow melt coming off it. So the temperature of the water out there today is probably sitting about 4 or 5 degrees centigrade, so that's why they're in their thicker wetsuits with hoods on. They've got a wind battering onto them as well, so that's pretty tough conditions to bring some scores, because there's going to be a bobble on the face of that wave just because the shearing effect from the cross onshore wind. So yeah, tough conditions, but you're delivering a 13.33 combination score. That's pretty decent still, you know, in these tricky conditions.
You look to replace a low score of 0.7. Yellow.
So who's in warmer places? Who's surfing in warmer places right now that's just having a break and watching us live on screen? Is there anyone sending me messages through? Come on, get those keyboards working. Send me some nice messages or give me details of where you are. Don't like bad messages. I can't handle those. I'm sensitive. So give me some info of where you are in the world watching the contest at the moment, whether it be in Edinburgh, whether it be down Bristol, wherever it is, somewhere. Just give me some intel. Let's see if we can get this internet working. I know it is a daytime. You might be up to something yourself, but if you do have a bit of time just to have a look and just give me some feedback, that'd be good. Not feedback. No, don't do that. Feedback is, yeah, that's bad. Just give me some information where you are. So Craig leading the charge here is our current Scottish champion from the North Shore Surf Club. So local knowledge obviously from this area. Has been seen instructing in at Lost Shore for quite some time as well. So perfecting his air game down there. They've got a lovely setting. They can get a bobble wave coming across and deliver a spot-on air section to be had. So a few of the contestants out here today. Some of the instructors down at Lost Shore. If you've not checked out Lost Shore yet, what are you doing? You're missing out. So there's definitely a difference between this sort of surfing and the Lost Shore surfing. But my goodness, for a coaching game and changing your surfing game, Lost Shore is pretty good to have. Craig again up and riding, staying high line on that wave just to make sure he gets past that section. Going for air reverse 360, not quite landing it. It was a low slung air, if you like, almost like a spinner off the top, but not quite seeing it through, unfortunately. But that's the second air attempt we've had for Craig in this heat. So he's having some fun now. He's relaxed a little bit. He's got over 90 seconds remaining anyway, so yeah, he's got time to go and have a play. Holding that one riding out. Has he still got holding that one riding out? Has he still got control? The judge is going to be happy with that. Was it in control? We'll see what they say. But he was looking for a 1.71 was Ansel. So our last seconds here. So this could be a change in situation. We don't know though, because Mark he was replacing a points. What was that, 0.7? So we'll see what it's going to do. So Ansel is now looking for a 2.38 from his last wave to get him through. So it's not quite good enough. It's a 1.63. So it's putting Ansel in third position. So that means Craig and Mark have gone through to the semi-final, and Ansel not making it through. So well surfed there by Craig McLaughlin, showing his competitive edge and why he is Scottish champion at the moment, with a 13.33 wave or combination score, with his highest wave score of a 6.83 with a backup of 6.50. Has seen him through to the semi quite comfortably. He's had 2 air attempts in that heat, so he's here meaning business. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. Hope everyone's enjoying the watch. We've got our fourth heat coming up now in the water for the Open Men at Thurso East for the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026. And we've got Mark Cameron surfing in red from Brock Surf Club. We've got Tam Hood surfing in white, Belhaven Surf Club. We've got Joel Carlton surfing in yellow from East Coast Board Rider Surf Club. And we've got Eben Parkins surfing in blue from Belhaven Surf Club. So they're all in the water now waiting for their first set wave to come through. And who have we got having a look in this first one? Could it be Eben? He's just missed it there. Yellow has just missed it as well. That was Joel. And we will get a chat with Craig when he gets out of the water. But that is our Heat 4 quarterfinals here of the Men's Open at Thurso East. So who are you cheering on? Who are you cheering online? Give me some sort of content to work with. Anyone on there giving me some chat? Who do they want to win in this Heat 4 or go through into this semi-final from this Heat 4? It's good to see Scratch out there as Mark Cameron. I'll get a good catch up with Scratch. We might get Scratch in the microphone purely just to get Scratch in the microphone. He's just electric, fully electric, and great chat to have with Scratch. So we'll try and tie him down for a bit of words of wisdom. Get him for a shout out for Watson out in Australia, because he'll be keen to give him some greetings from Thurso, from a fellow Brocker. And it's a great one to see. Lovely to see that the live feed. I almost commentating this wave of red gets to their feet, and that is Mark Cameron scratches to his feet, just tagging himself under that. He's having to charge down this line. Is he going to get something in this end section? He's made it through. He's got a high line. He's just come off that lip and landed. So we've got up in blue in the background there with Eben Park and Ansel was in the previous heat. So just coming unstuck. And nice to see the Lost Shore boys are watching. Mike, how are you doing down there? How's the crew? I hope everyone's well. Glad to see you are watching online. And that was an up and down for Joel Carlton. Big shout out from the Lost Shore boys to Joel, I'd imagine, one of their fellow surf instructors. Hope everyone's good down at Lost Shore. I'll be down soon. Need to get my lifestyle changed there and enjoy some waves. Get you coaching me. I need to get back into the groove, so I need some eyes on. So I'm looking forward to catching up with them at Lost Shore. What a facility. If you've not been there, you need to go there. You can stay on site. Some cracking apartments. I've almost stayed in them all, as in all the different types of them. Not all of them, because there's enough to be had. There's like 34 chalets down there with 8 bedders, 6 bedders, 4 bedders, and 2 bed bunks as well. The pods are absolutely lovely. So, such a cracking facility for Scotland to have, and right next to the airport, so you can fly from anywhere in the world and get straight into Lost Shore. And you've got the likes of Mike Mooney and crowd that'll look after you with a big smile and say hello. So a big shout out to the Lost Shore boys. I'll quickly, since we've got a lull, quickly get me on camera giving you a wave. Let's quick flick over. There's one for the Lost Shore boys. And girls, the whole team. How are we all? I'm thinking of the movie The Lost Boys. That's why I'm doing The Lost Shore Boys. If you've seen the movie The Lost Boys, that's a classic. Brian, have you seen that? Remember that? Of course I have. Kiefer Sutherland. It was epic, eh? That was a good movie. It's the Lost Shore team. I hope everyone's well. Kubo, if you've not met Kubo down there either, best cocktails ever. So I've heard. No way. Joel's brother's cheering on from Bristol. Hello from there. Come on, Scratch. Who have you got? Just giving me words there. Is that Nick Brown? It is. And Tam from, I don't know, some sort of U1299 email address. Good to see. Keep me up to date with what you're watching or where you're watching from, sorry, and who you're cheering on. Love it. And here we are, Scottish Surfing Championships up in Thursday of 2026. Craig McLaughlin. Well, how was that then?
Oh, it was pretty rough. Do you know what? It was actually better when I got out there than what I was expecting when I was watching it, and I was watching other guys. When I got out, I kind of saw a couple corners, and I managed to do enough to get through. I was hoping for a better one, but can't complain.
Can't complain. Heat total 13.33 combination score. Decent. So after you knew you got some solid waves in there, did you start going for an air game?
A little bit, yeah. The wind's kind of perfect for it just now, so I thought I may as well try. Didn't manage to pull any off. I was kind of close on one little straightie, but worth a shot.
Yeah, straight. You landed nose heavy, it looked like, and dug the nose in. And you reverse 360 on one of them as well. But that wind, just is it holding under the board? Is that why it's good for you?
Yeah, exactly. So the wind's kind of like blowing towards me, which kind of it almost makes it feel like the board sticks to you a little bit better. So yeah, it was good fun.
I'm pleased the competition's kicked off. I mean, it was a later start than planned, but yeah, acceptable for it to be going ahead in this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally contestable, and get rid of a round today, and hopefully tomorrow will provide a better canvas.
Nice one. Well, all the best. Good luck. Crack on and go and get warm. Speak to you soon. Cheers, Greg. Bye to you guys. Nice to catch up with Craig there. He's always got some good intel for out there in the water, but it's true, the way the direction that wind is coming through, that board is going to be pushed up. It's almost like providing an invisible grip tape to his feet, because that board is just getting suctioned up to his feet from the wind pushing up from below. That's why he's going for his air game. So he's got the scores on the board, put them in the bag. Right, time to play. And we have Scratch paddling up to his feet. Kicking out of that wave though, just it closed out further down the line. Yellow Joel did have a look. Just wondering if you checked his shoulder there, if Scratch didn't pull out for that reason, but I don't think so. I think it'll have just been because the wave was closing out further down the line. Don't think Joel could have done anything with that or caused that to happen. But yeah, just to be mindful of that as surfers, checking over the shoulder, so you can do something called sectioning a wave. And say if someone's taken off closer to the peak, so at Thurso, I'm almost going to see who's going for this one. Tam Hood took a nice drop there, managed to get himself, but has to kick out on the inside as a full-on knee drop. And out the back, who we got? That Scratch again in red. Nah, choosing not to go for it. It looks like it's going to face up and just completely close out down the line, which it does. So good reading of the wave by Scratch, just identifying what's going on with the tide and the positioning of what it is. He's now having a look at this next wave. It's a bit smaller. And on the inside, who is that in yellow? That is Joel having a look. Can he get into it? No, just coming off the top. So that's going to put Joel out of priority. Drop him into third priority at the moment. Handing that over to Eben Parkin. So as we heard from all surfers so far, your priority is a big part of this tactic game that's being played here. We have a surfer in white on the inside. That is Tam Hood looking to get something, or maybe just move himself further out into the shoulder so he can easier paddle out. Now we have Eben Parkin have a look in this wave. got himself to his feet on his backhand, finding that bottom turn. There's the face turn, the big red stripe identifiable down the centre of the board. That's Eben, certainly for sure. Gets his first turn in there, so he'll be happy just to put something on the board. And we have Joel getting a nice hit in the inside. Can he ride it out? Are the judges happy with that completion? We'll see. You got a tag where 2 sections met. So we'll see what that does for Joel's score. But did he ride it out? What were the judges going to say about that? So Scratch sitting in first position at the moment. 15 minutes, or just under 15 minutes to go. And fair play to these photographers out there on the reef. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. There's no waterman in the water at the moment. I know Oscar's talking about it, but he's... Oh, up in red, that's Scratch again. Looking for speed to get round the section. He's still looking for that speed. Now he's going to start delivering the end of this. Little pocket turn to get him high on that line. Another one to wrap round into the white water. Gets a bounce off that. Can he do anything with his finishing face? Unfortunately gets a bobble, holds the left-hand rail and slows him down, so he just kicks out to get himself back out into position. Enough time to play with. And Eben certainly has delivered with a 3.0's put him into first position at the moment. Joel's last wave was a repeat for the 1.30 he had before. So Eben in blue is in first and Scratch in second, but that last wave there from Scratch might make a change for the combination. And that did put Scratch back in a position with a 2.40. So Scratch will be just happy he's got himself back in the first position. It's going to be tricky out there, and reading it from a distance out of how this wave works. So, I mean, Scratch has been up here many times, but these conditions, they're tricky. They are definitely tricky, and it's picking that correct wave, no doubt, is going to have a bigger impact throughout this contest. It's Joel's sister. Man, why did that come up? Cheering my brother. That's what I read incorrectly. Sorry, Joel's sister. How are you? Cheering on your bro. You got a nice tag in that sectioning turn there. So judges didn't score as highly as I thought they would, but hey. So Phil, glad to hear you're enjoying the coverage. Brizzle, is that what we're reading? So give me some shout outs. I'll certainly get them out for you on the mic. Hope you're enjoying the coverage we got going for you.
Situation in the water.
So let's get a shout out. Where's the best country you've surfed? Where's the best country you've surfed? Those online watching. Don't have to give me a break. Just give me the best country you've surfed. A shout out of Go On Tam. That's who someone 1299 PL March is asking for out there. 1299 could give us her name, I could give you a shout out. But you're certainly cheering on Tam. Good stuff. So it looks like we're doing the last heat of the day. This is it. It'll be semis and finals tomorrow. So it's just we can see a front of weather coming through at the moment, and the wind is just slightly picking up. We are due some pretty hefty wind coming through later on today. It backs off tonight and through until about 3 o'clock tomorrow. So We'll get this heat done, and then we'll have a timeout. We have up in blue, that is Eben. Nice solid top turn and a face wall ride there. Lands it, so he'll be happy with that one. Good one from Eben. Has it jumped him there up to first. He is looking for a 1.57. Pretty sure that one will. So it's a nice solid bottom turn there to keep the speed. Nice solid bottom turn there to keep the speed. Now he's trying to use that white wall to get some speed and generate it. He's got a little hack turn there just in the face of the wave, but coming unstuck, catching a rail I think on the bobble, throwing him over the falls, but being active, trying to get back to that first position. So Blue's last score was a 4.17, so well done from Eben. So just over 8 minutes remaining at the moment, and this is the last heat of the day actually, just because of the weather front we've got coming in. So it's a bit of a shame because we're actually getting some good wave surf, but tomorrow it should be epic. So in yellow, getting to their feet, that is Joel. Can Joel get past the section? He's going to work hard to get past this. Choosing to jump out and kick out of that wave. So you can just see this wind is starting to pick up. Oh, oh, oh.
Red and yellow. Awaiting scores of red and yellow. Then I'll give an update. 7 minutes remaining.
So we get Scratch just waiting for a score update there out in the water. He's got his arms waving, wants to know what's going on. So you'll see that on the camera. You'll see some arm movement going on out there. What it should technically be is you have your two hands, your two arms out side by side. That's asking for scores. One arm out to the side, that's asking for your wave count. Double arms up above your head, that's priority. And then tapping your wrist, that is a time check. And if you wave your hands above your head with a shaky fashion, that's actually, it means message understood. So the judges technically don't need to say anything to you, or the beach marshals don't need to say anything to you. So it's important to get that one right. But we've been pretty good with them. As soon as they start showing any arm signs, we'll always give them the information and update it whenever we can. That's Dan's job. He's over in another trailer. We have in blue, is that Eben getting to his feet, caught in that section and going straight down. Hard line there from Eben, but certainly be active. Heat combination 7.17. with 4.57 of Scratch behind them. We're still waiting for that wave score off Scratches though. We have in yellow Joel up and riding. Hard section to get round there, super fast bit of wave. So it's that wave read, it's really important. Good to see Phil. Best country surf's got to be Iceland. Nice one. That's a bucket list, I've got to say. Surfing under the Icelandic stars. That would be absolutely epic. So no, thanks for that, Phil. I will say a big shout out, a big hello to Timmy Eilert and the Christian Surfers crew for you. I hope you're well, Chief, and it's good to see you're watching. Iceland, that's a shout, eh, Brian? Could do that, surf under the stars. That would be epic. It make here feel warm. Nice takeoff though there from Scratch. Can he get past this section? He's trying to find that speed. Has he got it? He's having to work for it. There's a turn. Just a bit of white wall to ride up. He's coming back in for the pocket punch. Staying low to generate some speed again. Having to find a wiggle on the inside, but kick out it looks like. He's got under 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes remaining. But a well-taken wave there from Scratch. What's he looking for there? 4.5 to push him up into first. So a pretty solid wave, and there's Eben delivering in the background after that. Charging down the face of that wave. A good set of speed, 2 nice solid top turns. Third one coming into that white wall. Again, looking for some more speed off that white wall generation, but kicking out at the end of that wave. So back to back with Mark and Eben. They're having a little tussle here for the first and second position. Being super active, which is great to see. That board there, certainly from Eben, was delivering some good speed, eh? And here comes Joel now. Oh, an airdrop there. You can see that bump as he landed. So just a heads up for you all online on your Bank Holiday Friday that we will probably be ending after this heat, just because we've got a pretty hefty front coming through that's just getting closer and closer to us. The wind is picking up. So we didn't start at 8:30 this morning because that wind was pretty hefty. We then start at 12:30. There was a lull. So we've managed to get into that lull. We've got the first open men round through, if you like. So, and then we're going to get all semi-finals and finals done on Saturday. Tomorrow it's going to be a hectic day. It'll be an early start tomorrow. We'll probably be 8 o'clock, I would imagine, for our first heat kicking off. But I'll let our head judge sort that one out, contest director. They'll have a chat, and then we'll see what we kick off at. But we're going to be pretty active tomorrow to get this whole contest done the day before this amber comes through. But certainly, Blue is sitting in first position. So Eben's done pretty well there with a 3.70 last score, and Red's got a 2.67 doubled up from the same score before, putting him with a 5.34 heat total. So at the moment, Blue and Red are going through. So we'll see how this comes. We've just over 90 seconds remaining. Hope everyone's well out there. Hope you enjoyed this first bit of the Scottish Surfing Championships 2026 here at Thurso East. It's been tricky conditions. The setup is epic though. We've got such a good gig going on in the clubhouse. It's warm, there's sofas, there's seats, there's a full house, there's live on the TV, plus directly live out the window. So it's almost like you can watch live out the window. It's like a game of tennis. Then you look to the other side and there's the TV. Since it's slightly delayed, it almost gives you a replay. So it's quite a good little setup. We have got Joel up and riding, trying to find something to get a better score here. He's after a 4.04, and he's frustrated. You can see the double fist pump. He's been up and surfing in Thurso with Craig for quite a few weeks now. So Joel will be a bit frustrated, I'd imagine. And it's 40 seconds remaining for this final heat of the day of Heat 4 of the Open Men of the Scottish Surfing Championships. So with 10-second countdown coming in for the surfers, Scratch is going to look and try and get onto this wave as he's not going to pull the pin. And we have on the inside, who is that in white? That is Tam Hood. Can he get anything in the last section? He's trying to find something. He's frustrated as well. And that is heat over. We are allowed to be up and riding to get us back in, because that is actually the end. There's no other heat in the water after them, so the judges won't have any problems. So it'll be an interesting interview with Eben coming up. What do you reckon, Brian? Is he going to be fully electric? He'll be bouncing. Cool. Well, I'll look forward to that interview. So we'll get an interview with Eben Parkin, then we'll do a shutdown for you for the day. And keep posted online. Get the interview with Eben first. Let's have a laugh. This will be quite comedy. So let's have a quick chat with Eben. So quickly grab a cup of tea before the surfers get out, and then we'll get Eben over for an interview. And that'll be good fun. So we'll speak to you soon. And here we are, Scottish Surfing Championships. That's the end of the heat for the day, so the end of all the rounds. But we do have our last winner standing with us, and that is Eben Parkin. Eben, right, give us it. What was it like, first of all, conditions out there?
It is super tricky. They're not really doing what you think they're going to do. You take off, it sucks out. Some of the waves I got were just super lucky ones, I think. Some of them did not go so well. First wave was a nightmare, but a lot of fun as well. So I think I'm just going to go back out now, actually, get some waves now the comp's done.
So you're not done for your own surfing yet. You're just going to go out and have another play. So give us what do you think the judges scored you highly on there? What do you reckon you delivered for the judges they liked?
I think maybe linking the turns. I was managing to get like more than one turn on the wave. I got one I think with 3, which I think probably pretty tricky to find a wave out there that was allowing you to do that. But just let it happen. It was pretty good.
So totally happy, buzzing for this year for 2026?
Hell yeah, bring on tomorrow, let's go.
Nice one. There's a stoked surfer for you. Well, a big thanks. Thank you very much. Go and get a surf. Enjoy yourself. And that is us for today. So check it out tomorrow for the live feeds. We are going to be kicking off, I'd imagine, 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll wait for that update. It's going to be semi-finals and finals all day for the Scottish Surfing Championships here up in Thurso East for 2026. Hopefully that wind's disappeared and we can have some solid pumping waves. The swell direction slightly shifts as well, so it's going to be game on. So we will welcome you back tomorrow, and thank you for looking and giving us feedback today as well and being online. We'll speak to you all soon. Cheers!